بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قالوا لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة إنا إذا لخاسرون صدق الله العظيم. So we were busy in the discussion and the conversation and the muhadatha between Yaqub alayhi salatu wassalams and his sons when they come requesting him that why don't you send Yusuf with us? قالوا يا أبانا ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون. Why don't you put us in charge of Yusuf? For a quick detour and side point, ما لك لا تأمنا, this word تأمنا is originally لا تأمننا, لا تأمننا. And when it comes to the recitation of this word, there is 2.5 options. When it comes to the recitation of La Ta'manna in Hafs and Asim, 2.5 options. Number one, which because originally the word is La Ta'manuna. So the 2.5 options is option number one is with Ishmam. Ishmam means that you make the motion of Dhamma, but the sound is not there. So the motion of Dhamma is U, where the lips protrude. So you make this motion, but the sound doesn't actually come out. And the reason why I say it's 2.5 is because one opinion is you protrude your lips on the ghunna. So when you say la ta'man with the ghunna, when you protrude it with the ghunna. Another opinion is when you already make the ghunna and you're holding the ghunna, then you protrude your lips. La ta'man, and then you make it after you've already made the ghunna. That's opinion number one, Ishmam. Ar-Rum number two is where you give a word 1/3 of its original time. So if you were supposed to read it with full ghunna, it sounds like لا تأمنون, لا تأمنون. But when you read it with room, it's going to sound like لا تأمنون, 1/3. You read it very quickly and then you move on. That's by side point. Oh Yaqub, ما لك لا تأمنا على يوسف وإنا له لناصحون. Why don't you send him with us? We're going to be his clear-cut advisors. And Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam's apprehension was in two things. It fears me, إني لا يحزنني أن تذهبوا به وأخاف أن يأكله الذئب وأنتم عنه غافلون. I just don't want to be away from him. It gives me grief that I'm absent from him. It gives me grief that I'm separated from him. One, and two, I fear that a wolf, because the land of Canaan was surrounded by wolves, infested with wolves, I feel like a wolf is going to eat him. So they tell their father as a response, قالوا لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة. Oh father, لئن أكله الذئب ونحن عصبة, if a wolf was to eat him while we are a band, we are a group, we are strong, we are young, we are healthy, we are capable, إنا إذا لخاسرون, then we would surely most definitely be the biggest of losers. That could never happen. And Ibn Kathir in his tafsir writes that as they're having this discussion with the father, then they're displaying these high level of emotion and affection to Yaqub. So the brothers are hugging Yaqub, hugging Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, embracing him, showing all this love and affection. And the fact that it's a group and they're coming with a one sound, strong sound, and they're all young, and now they're showing this affection. So Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, even though he's hesitant and even though he's a little bit anxious, he still gives permission because it's one solid group and they're coming with so much emphasis and so much confidence, and now they're displaying all these emotions and showing that they love Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, so he lets them go. وَنَحْنُ عُصْبَةٌ إِنَّا إِذًا لَخَاسِرُونَ. So much emphasis, la, surely then we would be losers. We could never let this happen. So they go. فَلَمَّا ذَهَبُوا بِهِ, when they take him. And Ibn Kathir writes that as they're leaving from the house, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, in his heart, he's feeling these pangs of sorrow. And they say he has a frog in his throat. And he's choking up, but he's not able to say anything. And the brothers are walking with Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and they're displaying all this emotion. Oh, it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a grand time. We're going to have fun. فَلَمَّا ذَهَبُوا بِهِ وَأَجْمَعُوا أَن يَجْعَلُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. They take Yusuf, and they are firm, they are resound, they are solid, they are grounded in dropping him in the well. وَأَجْمَعُوا أَن يَجْعَلُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. Now they have made the firm resolution, we're going to drop him in the well. So Ibn Kathir writes, as they're leaving from the house of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, They're busy displaying all these emotion and affection. The minute they get out of eye shot and ear shot, and now they're a little bit ahead into the journey, they drop Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam on the ground, and then they start beating him and kicking him and punching him. And he's confused. Wait, what's happening? I thought we were going for a picnic. He's confused. And you just told my father it's going to be a good time. You're going to take care of me. Now you're beating me up on the ground. He's confused. He's in a state of panic and shock. وَأَجْمَعُوا أَن يَجْعَلُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. And they've made the resolution, now we're going to drop him in the well. And the Mufassirun write that where was this well located? The major opinion is that the well that they took him was a somewhat abandoned well, but it was close to their home. And the reason why they wanted to keep it close to their home was every so often, periodically, they wanted to check up on him to see what happened. Is he still alive? Is he still breathing? Is he still there? Is he taken? What's going on? So the well that they took was somewhat deserted, but it was in their general vicinity. وَأَجْعَلُوا أَن يَجْعَلُوهُ فِي غَيَابَةِ الْجُبِّ. Now, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam is in a state of frenzy. He's in a state of panic because he thinks he's going for a picnic. Now what's going on? The brothers are beating him up and they plan to drop him in the well. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ بِأَمْرِهِمْ هَذَا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. وَأَوْحَيْنَا, and we reveal, we send down, we inspire. لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ بِأَمْرِهِمْ هَذَا. That, oh, take it easy, relax, don't panic. Soon the day is coming that you will inform these same brothers of this same incident. وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. But they will not perceive, they will not realize, they will not know who you are. The day is coming that you will soon tell these brothers about this incident, but they will not realize who you are. And when is that day coming? That day is coming. تَرَبَّعْتَ عَلَى الْمِصْرِ وَمَلَكْتَ خَزَائِنَهَا وَأَطَاعَكَ أَهْلُهَا. You will be sitting at the kingship of Egypt and in charge of all of its treasures, and its people will respect and obey you. And then you will inform these brothers, but they will not know who you are. In terms of awhayna, there are two opinions. One is that in terms of wahi, since he's a minor and he's still a child, it's not wahi in haqiqi, it's not revelation of prophethood, but it is rather the same wahi that was given to the mother of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ Musa, which is not wahi. The Mufassirun are unanimous, it means alhamna. We have inspired her. So we inspired Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. But there's another opinion which says, no, this was actual wahi. يَجُوزُ أَن يُوحِ اللَّهِ إِلَى مَنْ كَانَ صَغِيرًا. It is possible, it's probable, there's no reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala couldn't reveal to a person while he was a child, sends wahi down with a malaika that makes Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam a prophet from that moment. There are two opinions when it occurred. One opinion is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him as they're dragging him into the well, as they're going through the motions and they're beating him up and they're putting him into the well. That's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him. Okay, calm down. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ بِأَمْرِهِمْ هَذَا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. But the majority opinion is that he gets inspired after already being placed in the well. So now he's sitting there at the bottom of the well. It's dark. It's claustrophobic. It's cold, and he's alone and he's scared. And at that moment, after already being placed in the well, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him to take it easy and just relax. The time is coming that you will have your place. I always say that in life, sometimes you go through different challenges, you go through different emotions, you go through different volatilities and a roller coaster, and you feel like this family member, he has it out for me. Or my spouse, she's got a vendetta against me. My parents, they have this grudge against me. My children, they have this animosity towards me. And all these people, they're plotting, they're planning against you. And you begin to feel this sense of alone. You begin to feel this sense of alone. The righteous people, they were always tested with this. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the birth and the birth giving of Maryam alayhi salatu wassalam, that she went to give birth. And when she comes back, and the people, they start asking all these questions. Ya ukhta Harun, ma kana abuki imra'a saw'i wa ma kanat ummuki baghiyya. Wait, what's going on with this? We knew your father to be a good man, We knew your mother to be chaste, and yet you're coming with a child, and now they're hurling all these insults, and they're isolating her. They're plotting against her. She's feeling alone. This whole community, they have it out for me. Oh, if only muttu, if only I was dead, or as they read mittu, if only I could be dead. Oh, nasiya mansiya, they forget me and they forgot that they've forgotten me. Nasiya mansiya, they forget me and they forgot that they've forgotten me. So when you say, oh, do you know what happened to Maryam? Alayhi salatu wasalam. Oh, Maryam, no, I forgot what happened to Maryam. But then to forget that you even forgot, nasiya mansiya. She says, I wish I could have just been dead. I wish this didn't happen to me. I wish they would just forget me. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does He do? When a person spends his life in obedience and a person spends his life doing righteous good deeds, even in moments of isolated, when you feel all alone, you're never lonely. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. She was excluded from the whole of her community. She was isolated from every single person. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we sent an angel towards her. تحتها ألا تحزني قد جعل ربك تحتك سريا وهزي إليك بجذع النخلة تساقط, or as they read تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا. Oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent an angel that came from underneath her. Oh, take it easy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then puts the date palm and He puts a spring and a fountain so that she can be quenched. But what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says? وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِذْعِ النَّخْلَةِ, that go ahead and tap the tree. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the date palm there and He put the spring there and the dates could have just fallen, what they say in English, God sends you the walnut, but He doesn't crack the shell. Man has to do his part. He has to flex his muscle. He has to do his own part. So He says, tap the tree and the dates come down. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Prophet ﷺ tells Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, إِذْهُمَا فِي الْغَارِ إِذْ يَقُولُ لِصَاحِبِهِ لَا تَحْزَنْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَنَا. The believer may be alone, but he is never lonely. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of them. To the extent the Sahaba radiallahu anhum are in the battlefield. Have you ever heard of a person in the middle of an exam, in the middle of an interview, he just falls asleep? He's so relaxed, he just falls asleep. The Sahaba radiallahu anhum are in the battlefield. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu says, I could see the enemy coming, then I just fall asleep. إِذْ يُغَشِّيكُمُ النُّعَاسِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just caused the Sahaba to fall asleep. That's how they were being protected. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had their back. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam in the bottom of the well, he's feeling alone, he's feeling isolated. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding him, yes, your brothers deserted you. Yes, technically you're away from your whole family, your whole community. You feel alone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. وعلى الثلاثة الذين خلفوا حتى إذا ضاقت عليهم الأرض بما رحبت وضاقت عليهم أنفسهم. They're feeling very tight. وظنوا أي أيقنوا ألا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. If you want company, you go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so now this is taking place at the bottom of the well. Now the brothers still have to come home. So the brothers, now they think to themselves, what are we going to go tell our dad? What story are we going to come home with? So they brainstorm and they say, well, our dad said that when he didn't want to send Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam with us, there was two reasons. لَيَحْزُنُنِي بِهِ أَن تَذْهَبُوا بِهِ وَأَخَافُ أَن يَأْكُلَهُ الذِّئْبُ. That's a good reason. That was a genuine reason. Let's just go with that. So the Mufassirun write that never tell your apprehensions or your anxiety or what you fear might be an outcome to the person who has a sinister vendetta against you. Why? He's just going to run with that idea. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Thank you for telling me. That didn't even cross my mind. Thank you for putting that in my mind. They said, oh, well, Dad said, well, that's a good idea. وَجَاءُوا أَبَاهُمْ عِشَاءً يَبْكُونَ. Now they come to their dad, أَبَاهُمْ عِشَاء. Imam Qurtubi writes, why did they come at nighttime? Why are they coming at nighttime? One, it makes it seem all day we spent looking for Yusuf. Oh, we were looking for him all day. And two, when you have a made-up story, when you're fabricating something, when you're playing with emotions, you want to do it in the cover of darkness. They're not going to come in the brightness of day, and then Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam can see their faces like it's the full moon, and he says, oh, I can tell you guys are lying. They say never look at a car that you're wanting to buy at nighttime. Why? You can't see what the defects of the car are. وَجَاءُوا أَبَاهُمْ عِشَاءً يَبْكُونَ. They come to their dad at night crying and they're weeping. The poet says, إذا اشتبهت دموع في خدود فتبين من بكى ممن تباكى. Sometimes people, they just got crocodile tears. They're not really crying. These kids, they come at home, they come to their father at nighttime with this fabrication, making up stories, fake tears. And what do they say? Even if we were telling the truth, you wouldn't believe us. Even if we were telling the truth, you wouldn't believe us. Now, one, they come to their dad at night. That's already a red flag. Two, they start just crying, overwhelmed with tears because they have to fake it till you make it. And three, now they say, man, if we were telling the truth, you wouldn't believe us. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, from the get-go, his flags were raised. And now all these emotions, he can tell they're lying. Sometimes what happens is, someone takes your phone, and you're like, oh, it looks like someone took my phone. And someone goes, oh, I don't have it. Well, I didn't think you did, but now the fact that you're saying you don't have it makes me think you do have it. So they said, even if we were telling the truth, you wouldn't believe us. So he says, well, there was no reason for me to doubt you, but now you're making all of this, you're playing, you're really selling the act, makes me feel like you're really trying to say something. So what is his response? Inshallah, we'll cover that next week. The main takeaway point, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Man was created in difficulties. He has moments of difficulties. Life is not easy. Life is full of challenges. The poet says, عِشْ في الدنيا إن شئت موسرا أو معسرا. عِشْ موسرا إن شئت أو معسرا. Live in this life, whether in life you have roller coasters. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's ups, sometimes it's downs. Sometimes it's highs, sometimes it's lows. لا بد في الدنيا من الغم. لا بد في الدنيا من الغم. فذاك بأحزان مقرون لا تقطع الدنيا بلا هم. There's no way you're going to live in this world and you don't have any concern, any emotions, any anxiety, any worry. This is the result of the man. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam is panicking at the bottom of the well. Similarly, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam is also panicking at home. The brothers themselves are panicking. Why? What are we going to go tell our father? All three of them are panicking. This is how life is. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send us tawfiq. Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, wa barik lana fi ma a'tayt, wa qina wasrif 'anna sharra ma qadayt, fa innaka taqdi wa la yuqda 'alayk, innahu la ya'izzu man 'adayt, wa la yadhillu man walayt, tabarakta rabbana wa ta'alayt, nastaghfiruka rabbana wa natubu ilayk. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واهد الناس جميعا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. اللهم اجعلنا من عبادك الصالحين. اللهم اجعلنا من الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. اللهم اجعلنا من الشاكرين. اللهم اجعلنا من الشاكرين. اللهم اجعلنا من الشاكرين. اللهم احسن ختامنا وتوفنا على كلمة لا اله الا الله محمد رسول الله. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم انا نسألك الجنة. انا نعوذ بك من عذاب القبر وعذاب الحشر وعذاب الدين. واحشرنا يوم القيامة مع الأبرار. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب القبر والنار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. آمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.